Hello and welcome YouTube. This is TsR Dion of the 409th. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about some community history. We're going to be talking about the history of the 409th in particular. And the reason why I wanted to share some of this history is because I'm the type of person who very much likes to reminisce about like the old days in this community, because there's a reason why I stuck around with this community for as long as I did. It's because a lot of good things happened in the past for this community, and I just felt like sharing some of that history with you. So now, of course, we're going to be playing with some footage in the background. This particular game you're watching here is a all 409th game. Since this is appropriate, we're going to be talking about the 409th, so let's do an all 409th game. This particular match, you see here on the Ottoman side, there's myself and Sexy Man, and basically we're the two OGs in the 409th because we're going up against two newer players of the 409th. So we're going up against 409th RM, and we're going up against 409th EE. And this is like basically an old versus new 409th game. So here we go. You're going to see how this game's going to play out. But let's get right into this bit of history that I'm talking about. The history that I want to cover about the 409th is specifically the time period during which the 409th was first formed. This is a very murky and not well understood period. Not even by myself, even though I was there. But I do think there's some interesting things from this time period worth sharing. So here we go. So who was in 409th when the 409th was first started? Well, one thing you gotta understand is that the 409th wasn't the first clan that I made. There was a clan before it called the Dark Shadow Empire, which it was just some random fucking clan that me and Joey started, but that clan went nowhere. And what we did was we took the best players from that clan, and then we made 409th. And so at the beginning of 409th, there was myself, there was President Joey, and there was Blue. These are the three founders of the 409th. And, you know, I kind of wonder what 409th would be like if those three were still around today. Because, of course, Blue is dead. And President Joey, he hasn't touched Total War in like over a decade now. So, you know, it's like a big what if. But at the beginning, these are the three that were here. And so you have to understand too that the community was a lot different back when the 409th was first founded. Back then, there were a lot more players, there were a lot more clans. The clan community itself had a justification for existing. The clan wars were a big thing back in those days. So lots of clans competed with each other in a major way, and so there was like really a lot of niches that you could jump into the community and perform. You could be a lone wolf, you could join a clan, you could make your own clan. You could do this and that. There were so many different people you run across in the community that had all kinds of weird niches they were into in the community. There were a lot of guys that were into role-playing. There was a lot of crossover between the competitive and the role-playing community. So there was a lot there. There was a lot to the Total War community back during those days. And so the niche that 409th was explicitly created for, and this is very, very important for understanding what the 409th even is. The 409th's purpose was to hunt other clans. Yes, we were basically like a fucking mercenary group. So other clans and like specific people too would come to us and they'd be like, hey, I really want this person beat. I want you to beat this person's ass. For whatever reason, it'd be, like I said, there was a lot of shit going on in the community back then. So it could be a lot of different reasons why somebody would want you to do this, but people would come to us. People would ask us, hey, can you come beat this person? Can you come hunt this clan? Can you come destroy this clan? Can you come terrorize these people into shutting down their clan? Any type of deal like that. People would come to us, they would ask us to do it, and then we'd fucking do it. And let's just say the 409th made its customers very happy back then, because me and Joey, like literally all it took was me and Joey. We would just go out here, we'd smack around some noobs, and then it would, voila, contract solved, contract complete. And so we kind of gained a little bit of a reputation as a up-and-coming minor elite clan. What would happen is we complete these contracts, and then like the clan we fuck with too, like a lot of their members would be like, hey, why am I part of this clan? Why don't I come join 409th? And so we started to get like more members, we started to get more players knowing about us, and like I said, we got a reputation as like a minor elite clan back in Empire Total War. This is where most of this happened at. And so it kind of progressed from us being like a mercenary clan into us becoming like an actual fucking clan, where we stopped doing mercenary work and we started behaving more like an actual clan. And this is kind of where the 409th origin point really is, I could argue, because like around this stage, Joey got bored and he didn't want to be part of the clan anymore, so he left and joined some other clan. I think it's because we stopped doing the mercenary work. There's one reason why he left. Like, guys like him were very toxic, so if you weren't engaging in toxic shit for the most part, he wasn't going to stick around. One interesting player that was the 409th member was she was actually one of our clients at one point. One of these people that would come ask us to beat someone during the mercenary days. Her name was Pure Sinope, and she was actually a female Total War player. She came to us one day, asked us, "Hey, can you beat the shit out of this fucking group that's like..." She was a roleplay type of Total War player, so she asked us like, "Hey, can I use you to beat the shit out of this fucking group that I'm roleplaying against?" And so we were like, "Yeah, sure." And then we did it, and then we did such a good job. She was like, "Wow." So she hired us again, and she eventually it turned into us being her exclusive like fucking army for her roleplay. And we would just like, she would exclusively use the 409th, and then eventually she actually just joined the 409th because she was like really impressed with us and really impressed with how we were able to beat all of her freaking rivals in these little roleplay scenarios. And you'll see her commenting in the older sections of the 409th page too. There was that. There was also several people from clans we defeated who joined the 409th and became very loyal members, need I say. One of the guys that actually trained me too, he was the leader of this group named AOJ. He joined the 409th at some point. You see all of this activity in the 409th history. If you look through the announcements, if you look through the old comments, you see it all there if you follow it. But I say all this to say that the community used to be a lot more diverse than what you see today, because what you see today, mostly what you see today is just history noobs. Now you see history noobs and you see the odd elite player nowadays. You hardly see that anymore still, and it's just not nearly as diverse as it used to be. Okay, diversity is a good thing in a community like this. I really don't know what the hell to even do about the current state of the community, because like it's like you always had history people, like even back during this time that I'm talking about, you had history people back then, but it seems like nowadays it's only history people who just want to bring artillery to games, and there's hardly any elite players left because not enough people actually learn the game to become elite these days. But back in the day, back during 409's origin point, especially around the time where we were a mercenary group, you had all these RP groups, you had all these different clans with different motivations, you had like various casual clans, you had various casual players, you had lone wolf elite players running around that didn't join any clans, you had people that were like long-time legends of the community, like the person who trained me, Joshua Fritz, who was also the leader of FSU. Speaking of FSU, that clan remained dominant almost to its very end. Like I was very stoked when I was recruited to FSU back in those days. More or less, I only made 409th because I was just looking for something to occupy my time during the times when FSU wasn't at war. But when FSU was at war, holy crap, that was a fun time, because like everybody that was capable of going against FSU, they not only came against FSU, but they came and they brought their A game. They usually teamed up to do it, because that was what it took to challenge a clan as powerful as what FSU was. Just to give you an idea, I may upload like some battles that FSU fought on this channel. I still got like a couple battles left. They're all glitched replays since the Creative Assembly updated the games and broke a lot of replays, but I think you'll still get a good idea of like what FSU was like, just playstyle wise, and how good their players were. There's still a couple FSU players still around even to this day, like Warheart is a former FSU member. There's of course myself, who's a former FSU member. I stuck with FSU to the bitter end, basically, until like the clan was basically gutted. What happened to FSU is very akin to what happened to the Roman Empire in real life. Basically, the clan grew too decadent. It grew too accustomed to being at the top, and then so its top players got bored and left, and the people that were coming in were people that bribed their way into the group due to the status, and then eventually, like, the truth came out that the group was no longer full of the people that were making the clan good, and it was just full of all these noobs that bribed their way into the clan, and so the clan wasn't able to perform like it had in the past, and so it just kind of died from there. It was around that time. So when I left FSU in 2015, which is like 5 years ago now. So, um, the community used to be full of so many interesting events going on. One of those events was the 409th being its little mercenary group. That was what the 409th was doing when it was first founded. We were mercenaries. We gradually kind of tamed out and became a little bit more conforming to the clan community, and then we became like a legit clan after we recruited so many people from pushing everybody's shit in as mercenaries, and then we settled into a normal clan. We weren't that great, but we also weren't like bad. People kind of considered us a minor elite clan, and we weren't like, again, we weren't amazing, but we were kind of like average. Yeah, that was 409th more or less at its beginning, and let me know down in the comment section, what do you think? But for now, this has been TsR Emperor Dion of the 409th, and I will see you guys later.